My boyfriend refused to propose unless I give him what he wants.
Propose to him instead.
6 years on July 20th. My boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 23 female, will be celebrating our dating anniversary. I love him so much. He is my best friend in the entire world, and we have really grown together since we started dating at 18. By the way, this comes from Repulse Cable 94, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/showcase storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Keon.
I'm Carly.
And we give goofy advice here, but we don't have all of the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you know in the comments down below. OP continues, as excited as I am to celebrate 6 years with him, I cannot help but also dread it, because it's another year of him not proposing. Ooh. We have had a lot of people ask, oh my gosh, it's almost 6 years. Why aren't you guys engaged yet? And others say, you guys are so young, just enjoy your lives. Honestly, within the relationship, we are both split. He went from asking me to marry him every day when we were 18
Every day.
to saying we need to be more stable once we both enter the corporate workforce. We have discussed marriage, kids, and all of that, and have agreed those are the things we both want. Of course, I understand him, and it's a responsible thing to do to have our finances and be in such a more stable household. However, it seems he is starting to prioritize other things over marriage, like Pokemon cards.
Like sports teams.
He has expressed his aspirations to move into the city. Then another day, wanting a new car. And then the next, wanting to travel together. All these new aspirations and wants are starting to hurt my head because it seems like he does not know what he wants. We have had so many discussions about our future and what we want to create together, but he always seems so sure about what he wants for himself, but not for us. I have so many thoughts on this. His older sister got engaged last year, and of course, we are both so happy and excited for her. However, I found myself getting angry and upset, not towards her, but towards my boyfriend. He seemed so excited for her and her fiance and their future, but started talking about our future as if it was a distant future. When people would tease us saying, oh, you guys are next, ha ha ha, he would just chuckle and stay quiet or say, oh, we've got a long ways to go.
Ooh,
After
that's not what
6 years.
that's not what you say. I feel like again when it was like when we were 18, we were so young.
And in love.
In love, puppy love. Like the only thing on his mind was literally like you. It was you. And then he was like, "Wait, there's more to life than just prioritizing relationship. There's like actual like travel, living in the city."
Yeah.
And he's
Low
like,
key.
"What about himself?" Yeah.
If they've been together since 18, does he have friends outside of this? Is he just relying on her and he doesn't really know who he is as a man? Because I remember when I was 20,
That's
I was with
very
a girl.
fair.
I didn't know who I was as a man and I couldn't really lead. And I was just like, whatever you want. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
Exactly. And it's the thing of like, oh, whatever you want, that's first. That's priority. And then he kind of got into it and was like, wait.
Yep.
I don't know.
I got a quote.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
If you put her first and lose yourself, you will also lose her.
Ooh, who's that from?
My buddy Rex, I think, said it.
All right.
Yeah.
Rex.
Rex. Yeah. What was worse was that he would ask for my opinion about his sister's wedding, almost rubbing it in my face, asking if I would have a destination wedding, planned the same way as her, etc. Meanwhile, he was saying these contradicting things. In addition to this, I brought up to him recently that I would like to be engaged soon, and he said he would not propose unless we lived together for at least a year. I expressed to him that I personally would not want to live together unless we're engaged. But he said this was his one non-negotiable. Ooh.
I don't like this.
Yeah. I asked if he was willing to compromise. For example, us getting engaged and starting to look for a place together. But he said no. Just simply no. I asked if there was another way or if he had any ideas of how we could compromise. And he just shrugged. I'm in no rush to be married or engaged, but I wanted to ask him his thoughts to further understand where he is and where he thinks we are progressing. What is concerning to me that I asked him, okay, So if I'm not to live with you for another 3 years, then you will not propose? He said yes. Again, no compromise, no further insinuating that he would make me wait until he gets his way. This made me really angry. Now I'm at this stage of denial, but also acceptance, realizing that he will not do it unless I give him what he wants, and I truly do not know what to do. I could not even continue the conversation with him because how could I after he just shut me down? He seems to be so excited for our friends and family around us getting engaged and having kids, but does not seem to be excited for us to do those things. I want to get engaged and married because I love him and I want to start our future together, not because I am trying to relate to people around me. However, I find that he always compares our relationship to other people's. For example, my sister and her boyfriend traveled all over Europe. Why can't we? Or, whoa, my friend and his girlfriend just got a place together. We should do that. He is expressing what he wants passively, and when I actually try to talk to him about it, he seems closed off. What? I grew up in a fairly traditional household, and while I do not carry all of the values my parents raised me with, one of the few is waiting to be engaged, or at least engaged to be married, to move in together. He has known this for some time, even before we started actively having those conversations. Recently, he has started doing this thing that actually made me crazy. He will hold my hand and start measuring my ring finger as if cutely trying to gauge my ring size, and honestly, it feels like the 1-2 into the gut.
I think I would be like, all right, because maybe he is doing it, maybe, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. You can only foreplay for so long until you just get right to it.
He's just playing with your emotions now, and he's like, "Oh, let me see the size of your finger. Let me measure that." Huh? Just check.
You can only tease for so long.
Like if he's been doing this for 6 years, that's crazy. But if he's been doing it for maybe like a couple months, I want like a timetable.
So who does that after saying they did not want to propose anytime soon? At this point, I truly do not know what to do anymore. I feel lost and nervous for our 6-year celebration coming up. I do not know how to change his mind because the last thing I want to do is beg him to propose. I feel stuck. Advice. Edit, I'm seeing a lot of comments about our ages, and again, like I said above, I understand that we are young, and I've been together with him since I was 17 and he was 18. I understand, and I hear that advice. However, I'm not asking for marriage and babies next year. I'm simply asking for further commitment and engagement. Personally, I think if you've been with someone for 6 years, you should know by now. Also, a lot of you are saying I'm not willing to compromise. I have been hearing him out for years. The issue is that I have compromised so much for him, and he has yet to do that for me. For 2 years at the beginning of our relationship, he's had no job, and I almost paid for everything.
Oh. Interesting.
For the last few years, I've planned our dates, our trips, and even reminded him when he has a doctor's appointment.
You're his mom. So cute.
Yeah, I don't think you want to move in with this guy. Fast forward to now, being more financially stable, we have planned trips and travel together. But when I ask him for some time to save, he keeps on insisting he wants to go somewhere and money can always be made later. When I try to understand him and see his perspective regarding living together, I accept that he does the same for me. But he does not always put in the effort, and might I add, for the last 2 years, he has not bothered to do something special or plan something nice for my birthday.
Yeah, sorry, OP. Just break up. It seems like you're putting. I always talk about, it's a dance with relationships, with be it like a friendship, relationship with a partner, anything like that. Sure, 60-40, sometimes 70-30, sometimes it's, but usually you should at least be getting some, 50-50, or, sometimes 80-20, them giving 80%. You're just giving 100%, and he's giving you none.
He's giving you none.
And what's your hat say, Keon?
Dump him.
Dump him.
He's a good guy, and we have so many great memories together. Sometimes I feel that I just mourn what we used to have. He's just masking being responsible with what is convenient for him. It is about him and not about what I want, because if it was about what I wanted, he would understand my wants and save for the future and communicate more. Marriage is not about having a big wedding or a party. I told him he could literally proposed with me with a ring pop, and I would say yes. He is a great guy, but he also has disappointed me so much, and I do not think I can handle much more disappointment. We have some relevant comments. Yeah, like I don't know, talk to his parents and maybe they can help insinuate, like,
Talk to his
make it happen
sister
or not.
who just got married, or engaged. I don't know. Because I feel like if he did propose, I don't think that's gonna save your relationship with him.
No.
And I hope it, because I don't want you to be blinded, OP, that you're gonna keep. It's like you're pestering him. You're pestering him. Like you shouldn't be pestering about engagement. He should be the one wanting to do it. And again, if it's financial circumstances or anything like that, he should be, at least working towards that goal.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like he has stopped. He has stopped looking at that as a priority.
Yeah.
And push it way to the side. Not even like near him. Way to the side. He's like, all right, I'm just living life. I'm going with the flow.
Doesn't seem to have that ambition.
Exactly.
About life.
He doesn't have the ambition about like anything. Which again, that does happen, but it seems like he's dragging you along with it. Which that's his life. Yeah. That shouldn't be for your life.
Update 2 years later. The comments we've already had the answers for, but 2 years later. Oh, wait, no. 2 months later.
Okay.
All right, 2 months later. Carly, they together?
No.
Keon?
I really hope either A, you guys had a conversation and he actually starts working towards it. If you are still together, great. And if not, I hope you're single and thriving.
If you haven't already guessed by now, I broke up with him.
Yippee! Yippee!
I let our anniversary pass, tried to move forward from my anger and frustrations while our anniversary was great. I realized he just simply did not and could not understand me, and I simply couldn't let it go. About a week after our anniversary, we were downtown working, and on a whim, he asked if he could grab dinner after work. I said yes, and what was supposed to be a casual dinner and go home type of day turned into a dinner and exploring all the neighborhoods he wanted to live in downtown. I felt like I was ambushed in viewing neighborhoods and places I didn't even want to live in, / we never discussed openly, and it made me feel almost sick, as if it felt like he was just rubbing salt into my wound passively, dangling the key to my future ring. If you remember from my previous post about how he used to size my ring finger, it made me sick to my stomach just like that. At the end of the night before heading home, I asked if we could talk in his car before he dropped me off. I brought up how I was not happy about the relationship, feeling one-sided, and that while I put in all the effort, he puts in the bare minimum and still forced and whined about what he wanted in a relationship and never considered what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
He actually got frustrated and said, "It makes no sense living together is more of a commitment because we are obligated to stay together due to paperwork. You can break off an engagement if you wanted to. We have had this conversation 4 to 5 times and you still don't understand me." He then went on about it, how it would be an opportunity to test things out. So he's like, you can't break up with me if we have a lease together, but you can break up with me if you have an engagement ring.
That's so backwards.
What? Yeah, my mind's kind of like, what? if what? So stupid.
Dude, what
you know what,
heck?
OP, again, I'm so happy that you're not together with this dingus.
Lunatic. Golly. This statement was very much a slap to the face because I realized that the same guy who used to vocalize wanting to get married to me every day did not truly think nor understand the importance of marriage and unity like I thought he did. And what hurt most was that after 6 years of being together, and me for the last 2 years really vocalizing excitement and a future with him, he never once actually listened to me when I talked about how important and exciting engagement and marriage is to me. But did you know you can get engaged to us right freaking now?
What?
All you gotta do is say "I do" to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime, and be married to us for eternity.
I'm divorcing.
Can't.
Oh,
You
well,
just got engaged.
I guess we're celebrating. Yay.
So this is awkward.
I feel like OP was just like, holy crap, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Took me 6 years to figure out my boyfriend's an idiot.
Yeah, honestly.
Well, we're gonna change it to ex-boyfriend now, and I'm gonna go rethink some stuff.
Dude, honestly. OP continues. Then I brought up how his words were hurtful, saying it's a good way to test it out and see how things go. I asked him, what exactly are you testing out after 6 years?
Exactly.
Test and see if you still like me and want to be together? For you to even say that you have to test things out with us and not know what you want to do now? That's your answer. You're not committed to this. Not committed to me. So I followed up with, if you aren't sure you want to marry me now, you won't be sure tomorrow, next month, next year, or the next 5 years. I cannot simply wait for you to wake up and see me as worthy of a ring. So I got up out of the car and told him it was over. It's been more than a month now, and I think I did the right thing. Of course, a part of me still misses and grieves him, but that last interaction told me exactly what I needed to hear. Yes, he tried to keep in touch and wants to talk things out, but at this point, I can't even look at him. You go, girl.
Good for you, OP. Yeah.
My date refused to drive me home, so I dumped him.
Dump him!
Oh! I, 21 female, have been going out with a guy, 23 male, for 2 months or so. We've been on maybe 4 or 5 dates. He lives in the town over from me. And by the way, this comes from a Zealous Ideal Use 2453. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Angie.
I'm Riley.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers, so we're only going to guess what we would do in this situation. But if you would do something different, or if you've been in this situation, let us know in the comments below. So OP says, I live in a college town that relies mostly on bikes and buses for transportation. Most students don't have cars, including me.
She's in Germany.
We made plans on Tuesday to go to this bar with mini golf in his town. He said that we could meet at 7, but that he couldn't pick me up as he got off work at 6. His town is about a 30-minute drive from mine, and that was fine, and I made arrangements to take the bus. Note that I've never been to this part of his town before. Anyways, I take 2 buses and get there around 7:15, and we have fun. I drink a bit, he doesn't drink. I feel like this is important to mention since I assumed he wasn't drinking because he would be driving me back home.
Okay.
Around 11, we decided to wrap things up, and he says goodnight and that we'll plan something later. I, confused, asked if he was driving me home. He said no, that he was too tired to after a 6-hour shift. Listen.
A gentleman thing to do would be driving back. But since they're not dating, there's this weird gray area that they're in.
Like they're not, like, official?
They're not official. They're just kind of dating. There is this loophole where he can pull, we didn't discuss it. But the gentleman thing to do is to drive her back. But there is this little loophole.
Yeah. So now I'm panicking a little since he won't drive me and the buses don't go that late between our towns. I tell him that the buses aren't running anymore, and he sort of just shrugs it off. I asked him why he didn't drink then, and he said that he just wasn't feeling it and had work tomorrow. The only option I had left was an Uber, so I tell him I'll take an Uber. The issue with the Uber is that the price is quite high, and I don't have that much money anyways. He says okay and leaves after saying goodnight, which I felt was another red flag. We were in a public plaza kind of area, and I felt quite unsafe sitting there all alone at close to midnight. I wish he would have stayed until the Uber arrived at least. But OP, don't you know, he was working really hard on those 6 hours. He's too tired to stay and wait with you. He has to go home and sleep.
I think
all his 6 hours.
This shows if there's another date coming around the corner. Because no guy in their right mind, if they're interested in someone, would leave them like this.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a huge, huge red flag. If you're a woman in the dating world and your partner is not going to make sure that you're safe in the nighttime and getting home safely,
yep,
that is 100% a red flag.
Yeah, I would, dude. If Sophia was in a situation, I'd go pick her up. I'd be like, no, you do not get on the bus. I'll be there soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's crazy.
Exactly. Luckily, the rest of the night passed without incident, except me being like $50 poorer from the Uber.
Oh my God.
I know, 30-minute Uber is expensive. I've been thinking about it, and I just feel very uncared for. Refusing to drop me off and not really caring about how I got home, and then just letting me wait all alone for the Uber around for 10 minutes in what felt like a shady area. So would I be the a-hole for not seeing a guy anymore for this reason? And there is an edit to add to answer some questions that I'm seeing pop up. I did not know the buses would not be running this late. The buses around my town run until 12 a.m. and I assumed wrongly that the buses between the towns would also be running on that schedule. They don't, and they end at 10 p.m. If I had known the buses between towns end at 10, I would have ended the date earlier and gone home. I assumed he was going to drive me home because A, he only mentioned not being able to pick me up, and B, he's driven me back before on previous dates. I'm not taking advantage of him as I have also paid for dates. If I had a car, I would have no problem driving to him. I was disappointed that he didn't drive me back, but the real to me was that he didn't even wait for my Uber to show up. That was kind of the final nail in the coffin.
Yep.
And there are some comments. Beep more boo boo beep says, says I was at a show a few weeks ago and a group of girls I had just met like 20 minutes prior all waited for my Uber with me because it was late and nobody else was on the street. This guy's an a-hole. Glittery Dreams says that's exactly what you should expect from decent people, even strangers. The guy's behavior was a huge red flag. Yeah, everyone's just like, yeah, definitely not the a-hole. And we do have an update. Yeah, I feel like, because it's a small thing compared to what could happen.
Yeah.
And I love that little guy. But it's like such a baseline thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's like if you're not even gonna understand that me being alone at nighttime and even getting into an Uber alone too can be very dangerous, and you don't even want to do like the least you can to make sure that I'm safe, then like what are you gonna do in any other situation, you know?
I was growing up that as a man, I need to protect the woman I was with my actions and my words, and he did not do that with his action at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
Ugh.
We have comments from incels were disregarded and laughed at, including some guy who commented probably 15 plus times. But otherwise, I got a lot of good advice. I wonder if that was this guy. That was the guy she was dating. He's like, oh, well, actually, I think it wasn't that bad. I think you were definitely safe, and he's totally fine.
He had a lot. He worked a lot that day.
Yeah. I think 6 hours is a really long shift. Actually,
Too long.
That's too long. I think maybe he was really tired, like you said. You're actually being disrespectful of him. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know the 15 plus comments. But to address a few points, I originally thought he would be driving me home since he's done so once before when it was late, but it was in my town. This assumption was reinforced when he only mentioned not being able to pick me up, but nothing about dropping me off. If he had said that he couldn't drive me back, I would have just budgeted differently or left earlier to make the bus. I take the blame for not confirming with him about driving me back. I'm not really that upset that he couldn't drive me back, though I was in the moment. I did, however, expect some kind of concern over how I was going to get back, and at the very least, for him to stay until my Uber arrived. Also, for those who blamed me for getting stranded, I wasn't stranded. There was no question about the Uber, but I just would have preferred not to, as it put a dent in my finances. On the issue of me being a gold digger or taking advantage of him, I've paid for dates before. If I had a car, I would drive to him. He was the one who suggested the location and time for this date, so I had no problem catching 2 buses over. And in response to a few annoying comments about gender, if the roles were reversed, I would have driven him back. If I was too tired or didn't want to drive at night or something, there's no question that I would have waited for his Uber and paid half of it. In my opinion, that's just basic decency. Not really sure where the comments whining about equality were coming from, as I would have paid half and waited whether I was with a man or woman.
Yeah, come on. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the point here, guys.
Yeah, it's just polite, if anything. I mean, even if you think like, oh yeah, it's like a safe area, like I don't think anything's gonna happen. It's kind of like if you drop off your friend at their house and then you like wait to make sure they go inside. It's like, yeah, probably nothing's gonna happen as they walk up their steps, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just polite at the very least to just make sure they're there. So I think I've addressed the main points. So on to the updates. The date happened on Tuesday night. I took an Uber back and got home around midnight. He texted me around 20 minutes after I got home asking if I got home safe. I didn't respond as I was exhausted and honestly just wanted to shower and sleep. Throughout Wednesday, he sent me a few memes in the morning and afternoon, and then stopped texting. Wednesday evening, I posted my first post, and after that, later at night, he asked if I was mad at him or that he'd just been tired. I finally responded and told him that I wasn't really mad that he didn't drive me home, especially since it's true I didn't confirm, but I was just disappointed since I wished he would have stayed for the Uber to show up at least. Like, did I wish he drove me home? Sure, but not really that big of a deal that he didn't. The part where he left me at midnight in an unfamiliar place was kind of the for me. He's a lot bigger than I am, and I just would have felt a lot safer with him there. Once again, he said that he was just tired and wanted to go home, and said that I ended up okay and that it was fine. For sure. Honestly, if he'd done a real apology, I probably would have given him another chance.
Oh my gosh,
When
girl. Girl. There's other fellas out there. There's other mates out there.
Yeah. When I didn't respond to what he said, he kind of moved on and said that he already had a place to take me next time, some restaurant a few miles from his house. He said, let's do a reservation at 8 p.m. on Saturday, then go out for drinks and then a movie. I kind of wanted to be petty and asked if I should start saving up for an Uber back already, but eventually I just told him that his actions from Tuesday had made me feel very uncared for, and that I wasn't really interested in going out with him for a 6th date. We like the honesty. Great job. By the way, I'm going to be very honest with you and tell you that we've got full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but yeah, that's a great, honest way to say that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, honestly, like, I just am not that interested anymore.
Makes sense.
That's all it is.
I wouldn't be interested. I'd be
Yeah.
like, wow. Okay.
I do think it's weird that, like, when she didn't even respond yet, he already started saying, like, I was just tired last night. Like, he
Yeah.
was sending memes, asked if she was okay, and before she responded, he was like, I was just tired.
He's making excuses for himself.
It's like, okay, so you know that was something you shouldn't have done then. And you know that she's going to be upset about that because it's something you shouldn't have done, you know?
Bro,
Like,
cut him out, dump him. I think
Yeah.
you know what your value is here, OP.
yeah, good on you, OP. There is a little bit more to the story. He immediately started asking if I was serious and that if he'd known it was such a big deal, he would have stayed for the Uber. This annoyed me, since how did he not know it was a big deal? Why did it not occur to him in the first place that leaving me alone at midnight in an unfamiliar public plaza with bars everywhere might be an issue for me? He said that he really liked me and didn't want this to ruin things, etc., etc. He even promised to drive me home next time, but I kind of just wanted to wash my hands of this whole thing. I don't want him to feel forced into driving me, and I don't want him doing things only because he thinks he has to. I also don't want to be dating someone who doesn't even think twice about leaving me stranded, buzzed somewhere unfamiliar at midnight, and then only texting me like an hour later. He's still texting me, but I haven't opened those messages yet. And there are some comments. Writing Romance says, I would just reply, if you couldn't see that leaving a woman alone in a strange place in the middle of the night would make you an undesirable partner, perhaps you shouldn't be dating. And to answer your question, really, I'm no longer interested. Please stop reaching out to me. And that's the end of that story. Yeah,
That's
I think
solid.
that would be a good thing to say, for sure.